Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. This is Block Wednesday and we're going to be running the flower patch pattern for Gratitude and Grace. We're going to work on that on Wednesdays, and then also the first Wednesday of next year we start Grandma's Kitchen, so they'll kind of be on the same day. But this is a repeat block, so once we do the block today, you're basically, it's a reminder and to do the blocks. And you can see the quilt, and I'll give you some little tips here and there. So before we get to this, I had some questions about the Anda chair, which is the chair that I use at my desk and when I sew at a lower table, not at the counter height table like I do here, when I sew at the lower table. So that the gaming chair that I have, you had some questions and I wrote to the manufacturer and I got some answers for you, and I thought I would just go ahead and show you that today so that you have all that info. And I love the chair so much, and they have a permanent $30 off for anybody who orders and puts in the discount code Pat Sloan. You get $30 off your order, and they run a lot of sales, so you want to watch for that too. Okay, so but first, before we do that, I have to move my camera to be able to film over there. So I want to show you that first because you might find it interesting. In order to film over here, I am going to lower the sewing machine down into the table and then move all my camera equipment to this corner so that I can more easily sit here and talk about the chair. So I just thought while I was doing this, you might like to see how this works. This is a koala unit. As I've talked about before, it is one counter height table because it's my cutting table on the back. And this is the back flip up. See, it's like a whole table, but it flips up, and there's actually shelving. All this is kind of the options you can get when you build your own table. Mine was built a few years ago, so you know this is a they customize. It's all customized, but because it's high, and I have to have this lift so that I can sit here comfortably with my foot pedal. But now to put this down, I will remove this piece here, all right, so that I can lower the table. Let me just turn this off so I can do this. I need two hands. And when you do this, here's the stands. These are for, whoops, these are to help the table, to stabilize the table. That's pretty common. Now it looks like I need to dust everything as well, but first we're going to just do the demo, not dusting this very second. So down here is the lift. It's on, off. And then I have to, you control it, yourself. Let me just hold this up. There you go. You can see it's lowering. My arms are not long enough to get further away. And then it's down below counter height. So I have in here the lid. So this goes on top. Once again, I'm going to have to do this with two hands. So the lid, which I just showed you, is just sitting on top. It's very heavy. This is a really sturdy wooden table. And now the lift is down below. The machine is down below. The Solaris itself is very heavy. So this is a really heavy duty koala table. Okay, so now I can shift everything over and we can talk about the chair. It's always a lot to get all of the camera equipment set up in here because it's a small space and I don't have all kinds of different equipment set up all the time, nor do I change cameras out to different stands and things. Okay, so the camera is moved. Let's take a look. So you had a few questions about the Anda chair. And so I thought I would just pull it out again and talk you through that and explain a few other things that you were asking about. First of all, you wanted to know, did Greg get one? And the answer is yes. He was so excited about mine that he decided he wanted one as well. So he basically got the same chair as mine. And so now he's got a comfy chair as well. Remember, these are gaming chairs, and so they do have a few features that are going to be different than a regular office chair, such as how these wider arms are and that they come in and out and they rotate so that you can put them in different angles like this. Let me see. So let me just scroll in a little bit. So you can see there's all different angles you can do them. They switch in and out like this. so that if you want to lean your arms in a certain way, there's a whole lot of adjustments for it, really high up to all the way flat down. Also, the arms themselves, they're really sturdy. You know, they're not like flopping around. They go in and out. And so like if I'm sitting here at the computer or at the sewing machine where I'm actually, you know, going to sit underneath, like I don't need to take the arms off, but if I'm going to sit here and sew on one of the other machines that I need at table height, I don't have to do anything. I just kind of push the arms out so that my elbows can go down in here. Now I do have the extra large one. There is a large and extra large size, and the company sent me the extra large one, which whoops. So I really like it because the seat is a bit wider. It's like an inch, I think. And so I like that because I just feel like it's really comfortable. That's just me. I've not had a seat like this before. My office chair I had before was different. The chair I have to use at the higher counter height is not wide like this. But I really, really enjoy the wide width. Okay, so a couple other questions you had was, speaking down here, is like, can these arms come off? And it's like, yes, they can. Let me just show you how it came out of the box when we undid Greg's. This is the seat when it comes right out of the box. You can see the plastic and the arms come on it out of the box. And then what you're going to do is come down and just remove. See here, this unit is the whole arm unit. So you've got these 4 on each arm. You remove those and then you can have your chair with no arms. So you can see from that the arm itself, it is so nice that they're put in by the manufacturer, which means that they are assembled really tight and there's no wiggle, there's nothing. They're like rock solid. But if for some reason you decide after you get it that you do not want the arms on, all you have to do is flip it over and remove them. And so that whole arm bracket can come off. So it's very, very doable. That's one of the questions that you had and one of the questions I asked the company. Okay, the other thing you wanted to know about, okay, so you did complain about the signage. They do branding. This is a gamer thing. I mean, they do have chairs that don't have branding on them, or they have like an emblem, but not the wording. And so, it is what it is. That's just the essence of a gaming chair, is that there's a lot of branding that is on them. When you go out and look at their website, you're going to see that. This pillow is something that they developed, this magnetic pillow, which is really great. And it can go down where's it go? It can go to, it has a little bit it goes up, a little bit down. Now, because this is a large chair, this part is about an inch taller. Remember I said the seat's about an inch wider? Well, this is made for a taller person, so the seat is taller. And I can deal with that. I don't mind that. You asked about these here, these vents or these handholds, whatever you want to call them. Well, it turns out that the company developed those as a look for their chair, which actually in the beginning had a purpose because they did not have the pillow. And so people were taking pillows and sort of tying them on there. And the company said, well, let's just give you a way to do that more easily. And then they eventually came up with this awesome, magnetic pillow. There we go. So the magnetic pillow. And the back side does have branding as well. And you can see that all on their website. So there you go. But I also have one other way that I used this the other day that I want to show you. The other day I was sitting here at the computer because I do all my stuff at a computer, at a monitor. I know some of you will watch things on your television and that kind of stuff, but that's just not what I do. I need a keyboard and I do everything that way. But I was sitting here and I thought, I had to do some hand stitching. And I thought, what, if I could just sit in this chair versus the little hard stool, because it was going to take me an hour, I thought, what if I could take this long arm light, which is There's the light. And it's on the end of my table here. It's on the end of the cutting table. And I was able to swing that around and sit here so comfortably. Oh my gosh, this was so perfect. So I could watch a video I wanted to watch, and then I had this light, which, you know, is adjustable and everything. I'll link to the light down below as well. It's a clamp-on light that I was trying to turn the light off, and I was clicking the video clicker. Sorry about that. So the light, there we go. So the light is adjustable like that. So I hope that answered your questions. The Anda Company has a coupon. If you want to order with Pat Sloan when you check out, you will get $30 off. And so I hope that answered more of your questions about the chair that I use now at my desk. I hope that answered your questions. If you have any other ones, you can either ask me, maybe I know, otherwise you could write to them directly. You can take a look at their website, which gives you dimensions and all those other things that I showed you before. So I am thrilled. I love the chair so much. It is so comfortable. You know, anyway, whenever we find something good, we like to share it with our friends, and that's pretty much what I'm doing with you. Okay, I am retiring because I'm sending this down to my brother. The beloved Asheville that we did for the fundraiser when Asheville, North Carolina was hit by the floods. This is where my brother lives. So this is going out to them with their little Christmas present I'm sending. So I'm sending that down there, and then hopefully they can give it to maybe an organization down there to use and hang, you know, something like that. So I think that's where it'll eventually end up with a group down there. Speaking of fundraising, today is Food Drive Day. So if you have the ability to give food to a food center, someplace where people have food insecurities can go and pick up additional supplies, that would be super awesome. If you want to, I'm still continuing for the month of December to give my royalties for all of my merchandise to the World Central Kitchen. And so I want to show you something for today. I have, which maybe you never saw them, I have buttons. So, and there's also stickers. There's buttons and stickers, and they are pretty much these designs. These are some cute ones that are just, you know, cross-stitch heart, little strawberries, cherries, sewing tomato. This was our anniversary pin, and that might not be out there anymore. It might be retired now because, you know, the 10th anniversary of the Facebook group. My business has been 25 years, but this was an anniversary of the Facebook group. And then the Fabric Curator button. So all of my royalties for all of these things go to World Central Kitchen this month, where you have already donated over $1,000. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's talk about the Flower Patch. It is 12 blocks. So you can see there's repeat 3 in a row, 4 rows. So if you want to have a goal for 3 a week, and then that'd be 4 weeks, the 5th week will be setting the quilt. The backing is this piece from Gratitude and Grace. And you can pick up, I believe there's backing kits still available as well. I didn't double check that as of filming this moment, but hopefully there still are some. Otherwise, you just buy yardage. All right, so what we're going to do is take a look at making one block. And I'm going to go to the other side. So this is the hard stool that I didn't really want to sit on for an hour. Like I could sit here for a short period, but it isn't comfy for sitting a long time. Okay, let's look at the fabric that I will use, because what I am going to do is a 3 block, which would be either a table runner or that place in my hall where I can do a vertical. I'm not sure that I have like a vertical that will work there for January. And so I thought, well, it could be the vertical and do it mostly in the blue and white, so I won't use the green or the turquoise for my 3 blocks. Okay, so what have I got? Gratitude and Grace here, and the three blocks for me will be out of the same fabric that I had in the background, I mean, yeah, the backing, the backing, this floral here, which has got more of the blue feel to it. It's blue and purple, but the other ones are more teal, have more teal color, and then the plaid. And I will put the darker one in the middle. There are some other blue fabrics, like the one that's used in this sashing here, which is, you know, more of a tone on tone blue. It's actually the same. It's actually this fabric here with that little crackle, but in blue. And if, you know, if you wanted to, like if you were doing yours and you wanted to do blue as well, I mean, you could do that instead, and they would then be pretty much the same color. But I'm going to go with this one because I really like this fabric. And then the center of each block is this piece. And so because I'm just doing 3 blocks, I'm definitely going to fussy cut these medallions, these kind of rows for the center of each block. I think that will be super fun. The one that is done from the kit doesn't have that centered, which is fine. But I think just for 3 blocks, that would be super fun. And then the background from Gratitude and Grace. So that is all the fabric. And this is a pattern that you purchase. The Fat Quarter Shop's design. You can buy just the pattern if you've already bought my Gratitude and Grace and want to use what you already purchased. I think it'd be really cute for just 4 blocks, like a baby quilt. I think that would, or wall hanging or table topper size, that would be super cute. So there are, you know, ways that you can make this if you don't want to make a lap size quilt, but it's a really nice size with just the 12 blocks. Super fun. And then there's no sashing. The blocks go side by side, and then there's sew-and flips to create the big diamonds in here. So you can see that on the pattern, right? So there we go. All right, what I'm going to do is cut this stuff out and have it on my board. I've got the 18-inch design board, so I have plenty of room to work. These are bigger than a 12-inch block. They're not a 12-inch block, they're bigger, but not 18. So this will be plenty. The 18-inch design board will be plenty big enough to lay it out. So let me get everything laid out, and then I can show you how each of the units of the block goes together. The centers are taken from this fabric, which is also the border fabric. And I'm only going to do 3 centers, and I'm going to take them from the edge here because that's the most efficient thing. Now when you're doing the center, it's a 1/4 inch. It's the number plus a 1/4 of an inch. So be careful with that so that you don't cut it too big. You know, our normal is a 1/2 inch, but these, you know, look at the sizes carefully. And so I'm going to take from this back side because I don't want to flip it all around. And you can get really specific and center that, but I am not going to do that. I'm going to make them all just slightly different, just because I don't want it to look so matchy-matchy maybe. Yeah, is that a real word? I don't know. I think we quilters know what that means, matchy-matchy. You know, I'm working off of yardage here. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that whole cut so you can see that center square. And then, okay, then I will go ahead and get the rest of it cut. I'm trying to show you, so I'm cutting strangely, cutting at weird angles. But there you go. There's one center. Now this one, I don't know, I might cut it again because the 1/4 of an inch is going to chop that point off. Do I care? I don't know. I'll see. I'll do the other 2. Maybe be a little bit more mindful of that so that it doesn't chop that point off. But like I said, I want them to be all a little bit different. I don't want them to be identical. The reason why I'm cutting 3 is I'm only doing 3 blocks. So you could cut all 12 if you're doing the full quilt, or 4 if you're doing the 4. But the rest of these, I'm just going to cut enough for 1 block today. Here are the 3 centers for the 3 blocks that I'm going to be doing. And I can rotate them so that the leaves are different directions, and that makes them all just a little bit different, but they're pretty, you know, they're fairly centered, which actually is more than I expected. You know, I just did, this one's maybe a little bit more to the one side, but there you go. I've got those made now, and I'm going to just cut the rest and show you. Note this, it's A2D, it says A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D are all your background fabric. Just an FYI, because you won't find B and C listed because they're all the same size fabric. So I have all the parts cut out, and this blue I forgot. That is the blue I was talking about, which was the lighter blue. If you didn't want to do a darker one, this is what's actually in the corners that then blends into the sashing and makes those cool diamonds that come out in the border. So here's everything. Now it is now late in the day for me. So what I'm going to do is work on sewing this block, and then tomorrow on the video I'll show the finished block, and I don't know, probably might have a tip or two in addition to while I'm sewing it, and I'll have that on tomorrow. So okay, you'll come back then if you want to see the block. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.